always on the go, but the day just won't be one without your Hollywood fix. Let Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast take care of that. An all-inclusive look of pop culture.
Welcome to GSMC Entertainment Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Cynthia, and I'm back at it again with another episode for you guys. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are starting off to a very strong start to your week. Today is Martin Luther King to holiday, and I took the day off to go watch Bad Boys for Life, which stars Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, and highly recommend. I absolutely loved it. It's not so much funny, but I think it's just a dynamic duo's back. It's labeled as an action adventure comedy film. Definitely a lot of action, so I like that. I love action movies. Because I tend to fall asleep during movies, and this is a 2-hour long film, and I was able to stay up from start to finish because it's a lot of action packed scenes, which I like. It helps me stay up. But I highly recommend. I love Will Smith, so I'm I have to go see it. If you haven't, go watch the previous Bad Boys. This is a sequel to the previous 2 films, and I think they're coming out with the 4th one, but that's what I did on my day off today. And besides that, a pretty chill weekend, nothing too crazy going on. But as always, a lot of stuff going on in the entertainment world, in entertainment media industry. So I'm here to share with you guys, first order of business, the SAG Awards. And this year's 26th annual Screen Actors Guild Awards, which is abbreviated as SAG Awards, took place last night, January 19th, at the Shrine Auditorium and Expo Hall in Los Angeles. Of course, that's where all the award shows are. What other more suitable place than the City of Angels, right? And this is a movie screenwriter award film or award ceremony. I don't know what it is. It's January, February, the time of year all these award shows are coming out. Towards the end of 2019, from September through early December, it was all the music awards that were being handed out. And now the beginning of 2020 has started off with the Golden Globes, and now we're in next month there's going to be the Oscars, and so all of these movie shows or movie award shows are coming out now. So I don't know why it's in the beginning of the year, which I thought was kind of a little interesting, but I don't know. Who knows? And during the SAG Awards, so every year at the SAG Awards, since it started in 1995, they hand out 13 awards. And those 13 awards focus on both individual performances as well as the work of the entire ensemble of a drama series and comedy series and the cast of a motion picture. So it really takes into account everybody, a collaborative project, which I like. And these honors are fundamental to the spirit of the Screen Actors Guild Awards, SAG Awards, because they recognize what all actors know, that a motion picture, a comedy or a drama series is that acting is a collaborative art. And I love that SAG Awards stands by that, because in all all award shows, whether it's music or whether it's movies, it's really always the actor or the singer, the musician that gets recognized for the work. But even, we have to really look at the whole picture, that this, Will Smith wouldn't have done such an amazing job in Bad Boys for Life if it wasn't for the stunt doubles, if it wasn't for the cinematographers, the music, the costumes. everything. Like, so that's really what I like about the SAG Awards and how I believe they stand out from the Oscars or the Golden Globes, because they really take into account that acting is a collaborative project. Same with the music. I mean, very rare do like the producers of albums, of such hit albums, get recognized for, like, when we think of like Drake or Beyonce, you know, like those like A-list, top of the line musicians, like they're the ones who get recognized for their work, but hardly do we recognize like the producers, the ones who are really the engineers of the music project. Like they're the ones who should be credited as well, because without their beats and their musical talent in the keyboard and in the studio, we wouldn't have these amazing albums that we play in our cars, in the gym, you know. So I really like that about the SAG Awards and how they really take into account the assemble of the film, of the project. So I really like that about them. And I'm going to start listing up some of the recipients of these 13 awards. And the first one is going to be for Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture. And this one made news, major headlines. This was awarded to Parasite. And Parasite ended up beating the other motion pictures such as Jojo Rabbit, The Irishman, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Bombshell. And the reason why Parasite made such major headlines for winning this specific award is because they just made history. Bong Joon-ho, he is the director of this film, Parasite. They just made history at the SAG Awards as the first ever foreign language film to take home this prestigious award, this statue, for cast in a motion picture. So the very first non-English language film to win this award for Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture. So that is amazing. That is a huge win for South Korea. And I love how especially Asian American actors or Asian actors, they're getting a lot more representation in the media, because that's been a huge issue within the cinema world, is that a lot of Asian Americans or just Asians in general are very underrepresented in film and TV. And this is such a huge stepping stone for not just South Korea, but also just for like the Asian community. So I just love that. And I love how they're being seen and they're being valued for their work and they're being recognized for their work. And it was really cute, I thought, because during the awards show, when all of the cast members were up on stage accepting this award, Bong Joon-ho, the director, was left down at the audience table, and he was there. He looked like a typical mom, like recording them, so happy. Have you guys ever seen that meme of Kris Jenner recording Kim Kardashian, and she goes, "You're doing amazing, sweetie"? That's literally what Bong Joon-ho was doing for his cast members. So he was like such a proud dad, it seemed like. He looked like such a proud dad. He was there with his iPhone recording the cast members, and I just thought that was such like a touching moment. I really loved that moment of the night, and it's really rare, honestly, to see like artists, celebrities at award shows when they are at the podium accepting their awards. It's very rare to see like their family or, you know, their spouse, whoever they came with to the award show, to be like recording them in that way. So I like to see that us regular people can relate to such like big name directors. You know, they do the same regular people stuff, such as us, like recording and looking like proud moms and dads. So I thought that was one of the most memorable moments of the night, and such a huge win for them and for the Asian community. So huge congrats to everybody who was involved in Parasite in this project. Moving on. The winner for Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Leading Role was Renee Zellweger. She's been like nominated like left and right in every single upcoming movie award ceremony, and she just won for Outstanding Performance in a Leading Role for her performance in the movie Judy. And this was the exact same category that she won at the Golden Globes, and she just took another W for this exact same win for the SAG Awards, which we'll see at the Oscars. She was also nominated in the same category, so we'll see if she continues that streak. And outstanding performance by a male actor in a leading role was rewarded to, of course, who else? Joaquin Phoenix for his performance, his iconic, impeccable, memorable, remarkable, all of those adjectives, amazing performance for Joker. He too won in this exact same category, just like Renee Zellweger, but for the men's category. He also won for Best Male Actor in a Leading Role at the Golden Globes, which again, I am not surprised because he has done outstanding work, and I'm sure you guys have picked up on this by all of the previous times I've mentioned him for his work in Joker. So I'm not surprised he took home this award. And now, moving on. Outstanding performance by a female actor in a supporting role was rewarded to Laura Dern for her performance in Marriage Story. She ended up beating Jennifer Lopez, Scarlett Johansson, Nicole Kidman, and Margot Robbie. That's a pretty tough group of ladies right there because I'm a fan of all of them. They've all done outstanding work, all have memorable roles in movies and films. So that's a pretty tough call to say, but congrats to Laura Dern for achieving this award for Best Female Actor in a Supporting Role. Now, for the male actor in a supporting role, for Best Male Actor in a Supporting Role was given to, I don't want to say given, let me correct myself, not say given, but was rewarded to Brad Pitt for his performance in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And in this category, he was going up against Jamie Foxx, Tom Hanks, Al Pacino, and Joe Pesci. Again, very tough group of men to be against. They're all quite amazing. So this was definitely like way harder categories. I think way tougher competition than like the Golden Globes. I feel like the Golden Globes, it was a little bit like you can kind of guess who was going to win. That's just me. And just like the Golden Globes, Brad Pitt won in this exact same category for Best Male Actor in a Supporting Role for his role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to cut into a quick break right now. And when we come back, I'm going to keep discussing the winners of the SAG Awards.
Hi, I'm Greg. I'm the CEO and founder of Sober Recovery Center. If you're struggling with alcohol, meth, heroin, pills, we can help you. We treat you in a way that's going to help you want to stay and want to do it. Sometimes people think that there isn't any hope, and yet there is. We don't give up on people. That's what makes us different.
Call SOBA now and get the help you need at 866-547-6451.
Want to find out what movies to go see? Then check out the GSMC Movie Podcast. It's your ticket to the latest movies, whether it's a new blockbuster event, romantic, comedy, or action flick. This show has got it all covered. They talk some what to go see now. Don't bother. What's hot on Netflix and everything in between. That's gsmcpodcast.com/movie-podcast. When it's all about the movies, it has to be this new show. Don't forget to like them on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Visit gsmcpodcast.com for more info.
Welcome back to GSMC Entertainment Podcast. And moving on, we're still going through some of the recipients of some of the awards at the SAG Awards. And the next one I'll be listing here is for Outstanding Performance by Female Actor in a Drama Series. And this was awarded to, drumroll please, Jennifer Aniston for her performance, her role in the morning show. And I need to pause here and share with you guys another memorable moment, a topic that was being it was trending on Twitter, it was trending on Yahoo, and everybody was talking about this specific moment was when Jennifer Aniston was accepting her award and was up on the podium giving her speech. During her speech, Brad Pitt he was right before her at the podium, right? So right after you give your acceptance speech at the podium, you know, they walk you, take you through the back, and you're at backstage. So Jennifer Aniston won this award right after Brad Pitt accepted his, and while she was giving her acceptance speech, Brad Pitt stopped everything he was doing backstage, was looking at the teleprompter, looking at the TV, and he was just gazing at Jennifer Aniston and like admiring her while she was giving her acceptance speech through the screen, and vice versa. When Brad Pitt was up at the podium giving his acceptance speech, the camera panned to Jennifer Aniston. She was at the time sitting where all the audience members were at the tables down below, and she was like also like her hand was placed under her chin, and like she was like smiling and like clapping for him and gazing, and like it's so nice to see exes who still get along in that way and are, you know, still supportive of each other. But a lot of people on social media were raving and going crazy over this moment because the famous exes were photographed sharing a moment backstage after their respective wins, in which Jennifer Aniston, she like turns away, but her hand is placed on Brad Pitt's chest, and he's like grabbing her hand, you know, and like you can definitely tell like he still has like some type of feelings maybe towards her. I don't know, but they seem like awfully friendly, and especially if you're like a millennial like me, I mean, this just brought back memories of the early 2000s when it was Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston, and they were like that it couple, and everybody like admired them because they were amazingly good looking together, a good looking pair. And we haven't seen them photographed like that, in that way, in that friendly, loving way, in many years. And many fans were, you know, all these memes were circling around Twitter, and people were like, oh my God, you guys, it's happening. Like, they're going to get back together. And like, but also the other half were like, you guys, like, she's not going to forget how Brad Pitt did her dirty, how he cheated on Jennifer Aniston with Angelina Jolie. So a lot of people were also saying like, don't take back your cheating ex. But it was like a funny debate, you know, going back and forth. But this was definitely a trending topic. Everybody was raving about it, especially if you grew up like watching them in the early 2000s. You probably admired their relationship. But it was really nice to see them showing their admiration and their respect for one another. And you know, over the years, they have still remained very friendly with one another. Brad Pitt has attended Jennifer Aniston's annual holiday party, as well as her 50th birthday bash last year in February, which I'm pretty sure they started getting friendly again once him and Angelina Jolie have split. They filed for divorce in 2016, or they split in 2016, but the divorce has been finalized in 2019. So I'm assuming all of these rumors have been kicking up since Brad and Jelena have split, and they're both single. They're both in their 50s. I'm talking about Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt, so you don't get confused. But yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure how I would feel about that. Like, it was nice to see them together. You know, they were like laughing and like showing admiration for one another. Why did I have such trouble saying that right now? Admiration for one another, which is nice to see friendly exes, you know, still having that respect for one another. But yeah, I'm kind of like on the fence too, because like, yeah, they look good and they brought back that early 2000s vibe, but he did do my girl Jennifer Aniston dirty. So it's like, I'm conflicted. Like, I can't really like vouch or ship for that relationship because he did do my girl Jennifer Aniston dirty. But I mean, we'll see. We never know what the future may hold. But that was definitely one of the most pivotal moments of the SAG Awards. And moving on from that, going back to our regular course of work here, I'm now moving on to who won for outstanding performance by female actor in a drama series. And this was, totally wrong. This was given to male actor in a drama series, and this was awarded to Peter Dinklage for his performance in Game of Thrones, overthrowing Steve Carell, David Harbour, Billy Crudup, and Sterling K. Brown. Pretty tough competition. I'm a fan of Steve Carell, so whenever he gets mentioned, I'm like, I want him to win because I just absolutely love him in The Office. David Harbour, he was a police. His role was a policeman in Stranger Things. Again, all of these guys, it's a pretty tough competition. Like, I'm a fan of the SAG Awards right now because I like how it's diverse. The nominees are a lot different pool of people than the Oscars and the Golden Globes. Like, the Oscars and the Golden Globes, it's like pretty much the same people being nominated for both award shows. And I like how the SAG Awards is a little more diverse, and I'm a fan so far. So far, SAG Awards, you're like my top movie awards show to keep up with. And moving on, outstanding performance by a male actor in a television movie or limited series was awarded to Sam Rockwell for his performance in Fossil Verdun. And he was up against Jharrel Jerome. So for those of you who don't know who Jharrel Jerome is, which you should know, by the way, he had the absolute best performance in the Netflix short docuseries When They See Us. And again, if you haven't seen this film, I highly, highly suggest. It is by far one of the top rated Netflix films, my favorite Netflix film. I think Jharrel Jerome should have won in this specific category for Best Actor in a Television Movie or Limited Series. I think he was robbed in this category. I know. And I even said this in the last episode, how at every award show, no one's going to be happy, or not everyone's going to be happy. Someone's going to be upset. And I'm that person today. I'm that upset person because I think Jharrel Jerome should have won in this specific category because his performance and When They See Us was so moving and uncomfortable. And when I mean uncomfortable, I mean he really made us viewers feel a type of way, feel something uncomfortable in our social justice system. I mean, if you haven't watched When They See Us, it's based on a real life story about these men in New York and how they were wrongly convicted of a rape and a murder of this white woman who was a runner in New York City Central Park, and they were convicted for lifelong sentences. They were in jail, and it's pretty much based around that whole journey of these men. And Jharrel Jerome, in that Netflix documentary series film, he played two characters. He played a child, a 16-year-old younger Jharrel Jerome in that film, and then he played a secondary role in that film as him as an adult. And oh my god, literally I got tears seeing him. I feel that's what film is about. Actors, their role is to make audience members and viewers feel something and feel moved. And he definitely did that to not just me, but many people, especially the African-American community, people, minority groups, people of color. So I'm not a person of color, but I can definitely identify with the issue and how heartbreaking it is. And I just feel for those people. And I want to do everything in my can to, just raise awareness, really. And you guys, I'm going to cut into another quick break because I'm getting really deep into this. And when we come back, I'm going to continue sharing a little bit more about the SAG Awards and then moving on to Kim Kardashian's documentary.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to GSMC Entertainment Podcast, and I'm gonna wrap this up about the SAG Awards in just a few minutes, but I want to still share with you guys some of the winners of the SAG Awards. And Best Stunts in a Motion Picture was given to Avengers Endgame, and then Best Stunts in a Comedy or Drama Series was awarded to Game of Thrones. And I included those two specific awards in today's podcast because I loved how this is the first awards show that I have tuned in. And this is the first awards show that they have recognized the stunts. And not like the director, not the actors, but they recognize like the stunts in a film. So that's what I was talking about, like the earlier segment, like the SAG Awards I really liked. And I just loved how they really take into account that acting and cinema and that industry is really a collaborative art, a collaborative project. And I like how they recognize like the stunt doubles and overall stunts in these films. So that's why I wanted to include it in today's episode. And the final award I will be mentioning for the SAG Awards is the Lifetime Achievement Award. And this is awarded to individuals who have made a lasting impact through film. So generally speaking, these are awarded to like the older generation, male actors, female actors, again, because it's through their lasting impact through film. And of course, this is awarded to who else than Robert De Niro. De Niro, he has an incredible repertoire of films and versatility with his memorable roles like The Untouchables, Meet the Fockers, The Deer Hunter, and Silver Linings Playbook. And there's so many more films that he's starred in, and he's so versatile. He can do comedy, he can do drama, like he does it all and he does it well. So I'm not surprised that Robert De Niro won this year's Lifetime Achievement Award. And other actors who have also been awarded this exact award have been Betty White, Morgan Freeman, Audrey Hepburn, Clint Eastwood. I love Clint Eastwood, by the way. So yeah, again, I'm not surprised by Robert De Niro. And something kind of not really out of topic, but something that I noticed in this year's 2020 SAG Awards is how all of my favorite actors and actresses are aging. Like when Robert De Niro went up to the podium, I legit could not recognize him. Like he looks old. Okay. And I'm sorry to say that, but he looks old. Like he has like literally white hair, a white beard, long white hair. And I think it's because when I picture him and like any other celebrity, like I picture them as the role that they play in. So like in The Irishman, like he obviously doesn't have like a white beard and doesn't have white long hair. So like when I saw him up at the podium, like I was caught by surprise because I had this already mental image of him because of all the roles he's been in. But really I have to like take myself out of it. Like these are real humans. Like these are fictional characters that they are playing. This is a lot of times that's not how they actually look. So yeah, it's really crazy how like all my favorite actors and actresses that I grew up watching like are aging. For instance, like Brad Pitt too, like the years are catching up to him. Let me just say that like, he's still a very good looking man. Okay. He is a good looking man, but like he definitely, I compared a picture of him from the early 2000s and how he looks like now. And obviously that's almost 30-year difference, but those are 20-year difference. Yeah, I cannot do my math right now. But yeah, he's 54 and he looks like it, but he's like a good looking 54-year-old man, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, so I'm going to wrap up that discussion of the SAG Awards. It was my very first time tuning into the SAG Awards. And to be honest, I think I'll be tuning in every year because I like how diverse the nominees were. I like their mission and how they believe that acting is a collaborative project. They're not just going to recognize the actors and actresses in cinema, but they're going to recognize the stunts and the cast and everybody surrounding the project. So I am very pleased with this year's SAG Awards. And moving on, I want to talk about Kim Kardashian's documentary. So Oxygen has released the trailer for her documentary titled Kim Kardashian West, The Justice Project, which sees the media personality, her declare that there is a mass incarceration problem in the United States. And the trailer just came out. It's been circling around Twitter. I believe it came out yesterday. And this documentary is produced by Kim Kardashian West herself and Bunham Murray Productions with Gil Goldstein, Julie Pizzi, Farnes Farjim, and Vince DiPergio, all serving as exec producers. And this 2-hour documentary, which will be premiering Sunday, April 5th, captures Kim Kardashian as she explores the cases of Don Jackson, Alexis Martin, Mama Lou Stewart, and David Shepard, all of whom she and legal experts believe have been unfairly sentenced. So that's what the whole Justice Project will be surrounding by. And to illuminate their stories, Kim Kardashian, she travels to the prisons where they're being held. She speaks to their families and friends, lobbies public officials, and consults with lawyers to try and facilitate their release. And how this all started. So this actually started back in 2019. So Kim Kardashian heard of Alice Marie Johnson, and she was a first-time nonviolent drug offender who'd been serving a life sentence since 1996. And Kim Kardashian went to the White House and she was freed. Alice Marie Johnson was freed from prison after President Trump commuted her sentence. And again, her freedom came just days after Kim Kardashian pleaded Johnson's case to Trump. So it started back. Kim Kardashian was inspired to advocate for criminal justice reform, and she made the documentary when she heard the story of Alice Marie Johnson, a great grandmother serving a life plus 25-year sentence as a first-time nonviolent offender. So that's really how everything started kind of rolling, and how Kim Kardashian, she's been advocating for prison reform since then. And you can say whatever you can about her. I will be the first one to say I don't agree with everything Kim Kardashian has done in her life as a celebrity, but this is really commendable, and you can't negate the fact that this is remarkable work that she's doing, whether she's doing it for a documentary or not. She is getting people and advocating for prison reform and getting people out of prison. So you can't, negate that fact. And the trailer, features a face that has made headlines, like I just mentioned, Alice Marie Johnson. And since then, Kim Kardashian has been committed to prison reform. She has even started studying to become a lawyer last year, and has helped commute the life sentences of more than a dozen first-time non-violent drug offenders, which is amazing. Again, like I said, it's commendable work. You can't knock that down. That's amazing. And a lot of people, she's been getting backlash as well, because people were saying, oh, she's just a social media personality. She's a reality star. What is she doing, to become a lawyer? And I kind of see both sides, because she is a celebrity. She obviously has way more privileges than the average person. So like, she didn't go through all the steps to truly become a lawyer, like go through law school, taking the tests and all that, the state exams, all like the difficult obstacles that lawyers, the rigorous coursework that lawyers go through to become a successful lawyer. And so she definitely is getting like a easy pass, a gold pass. So I will say that, I don't think people will necessarily take her as a true lawyer, just because she is a celebrity and she does have that advantage over, you know, other law students. So I can kind of see both sides as to why she would be receiving backlash, why people wouldn't really take her seriously as a lawyer. But regardless of all that, I do appreciate the fact that she's at least doing something with the huge platform that she does have and advocating for a positive change in the world. And she states, I partnered with Oxygen to do the Kim Kardashian West, The Justice Project documentary because there are millions of people impacted by this broken justice system. And I wanted to put faces to these numbers and statistics. So that's what Kim Kardashian, that's her mission behind the whole project. And she states how there are a lot of people who deserve, you know, a second chance, but many don't have the resources to make it happen. And she wants to be the person to help elevate these cases to a national level to affect change. And I love that. Again, that's commendable work. Like I said, like you can't knock that down. And I love like just all the work, the social justice, criminal justice work that she is involved in right now. And you know, her quest to release Johnson really sparked all of this conversation, and the executive producers are really excited to work with Kim Kardashian and to help bring light of the situation and of the true mass incarceration problem that the United States is facing. So I will definitely be tuning in. Again, it does premiere Sunday, April 5th. Let me know in the comments if you guys will be tuning in. I'm not necessarily excited, but I'm very curious to see how this plays out. Who's like the mastermind people really working behind the scenes. So stay tuned. The Kim Kardashian West, The Justice Project, to be out on Oxygen Sunday, April 5th. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude today's episode here at GSMC Entertainment Podcast. If you liked what I had to say today, then please do not forget to like, share, subscribe. And as always, I wish you guys a very happy week, a productive week, and catch me here next week for another episode at GSMC Entertainment Podcast.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Entertainment Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.